So welcome to day 11, and we're going to go over bass heroes of the Titans. So I got a chance to ask every bass participant who their heroes were, and they came up with basically a top 7, and then about 3 or 4 others that were really prolific. So let's go over it. These are great ones to study if you want to keep playing the bass, because they're very influential. Squire from Yes was number 7. Mentioned a lot of personal experiences in the book. If you haven't picked up your Titans of Bass book, please check the link below to order your own so that you can learn how to play the bass. I imagine if you're this far in the course, you already have it, I hope. Otherwise, it would be confusing. Squire had the flat wound strings, played with the pick, had a very trebly sound in his bass, very distinctive, so it really inspired people who were playing the bass more than beginners maybe, but very good player and someone to check out. McCartney from the Beatles. This is a good one even for beginners because he was very melodic and inventive, and his stuff may sound simple, but it is harder to play than it sounds, and you learn a lot just by learning one song, especially when you're starting out. So this is who I personally liked. And Neil Jason, Christian McBride, some people personally worked with him, so check out the book for first-hand experiences of Paul McCartney. Entwistle from The Who, another great one I really love. Very powerful player, sort of flashy at times, but very well-chosen notes, inventive, loud, great dexterity, someone just to listen to for inspiration, and someone who inspired a lot of other bass players. Jack Bruce from Cream is the next one, who influenced Geezer Butler. It was mentioned in the book, and many others. He had a bendy style. Power trio of Cream, which Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker were very, very talented together, and I would argue, many argue that Jack Bruce was the most talented, did a lot with a little, very solid player, didn't show off that much, but did a lot of cool stuff with fewer notes. John Paul Jones, Led Zeppelin number 3, very good even today, just to study for beginner and pro alike, did a lot, flashy stuff at times, but it always fit. And he knew when to hold back too, so another great one to check out. Although Jamerson is number 2, I would argue for beginners, he'd probably be the one I'd study the most after I got my chops down a bit, because he was on all those hits, basically only stayed in the first 5 frets, but did a lot with it, went back and forth, did some cool little licks that are probably easier to learn than number 1, which you'll see. Jamerson is very influential, mentioned almost very many interviews as somebody to start out, and not known outside the bass community, but someone to check out definitely. Number 1 influential one, almost every interview, was Jaco Pastorius. Very, very great player, basically redefined the instrument. A good example just to listen to what you can do on the bass, as he was very technically great too, and did a lot of cool stuff. So Jaco Pastorius is the number 1 almost every interview, maybe over 80% interviews somebody would mention him. So great stories too in the book, some first-hand experiences, people who knew him personally, met him, things like that. So check it out. Some great ones for beginners check out, I would say Donald Duck Dunn and Carol Kay, great session players. Donald Duck Dunn in Nashville, played on the Blues Brothers, never showed off, very on the money, very tight. Good one to study. Stanley Clarke, virtuoso. Bootsy Collins from Funkadelic, really good player in Parliament. And Charles Mingus was mentioned a lot as a jazz player. So these are other ones to check out too. So now we're gonna, for your homework, listen to the no bass version of Midnight Special 5 times. Just visualize yourself playing there. Practice the chord changes as always, and play with the song 5 times too if you can. And you can play with the no bass version or the bass version. I would even alternate it just to make sure that you're on the money. So now it's a good idea to ask your family and friends to attend your mini concert of the challenge on day 14. If they can't attend, or even if they can, it's a good idea to record it, because we're going to be doing that tomorrow. Just a spoiler alert. So if you have a phone or some kind of recording equipment and a place to have your concert, that would be a good idea. If it's like a kitchen or a room or even outside, whatever you want to do, make sure you have electricity, but we'll go over that. And just tell your people are invited to your little mini concert. So practice your chord changes, C to G, C to F, C to F first, C to G, back and forth. Song's a bit quick, so You just want to make sure that you're getting better and more used to it. Try to be as smooth as possible. If you have to play fewer notes to stay on time, that's a thing that you can try. Try to play 10 times a day. We have a few more days. The more you play, the better you're going to sound and more comfortable. It's all about being comfortable and relaxed up there. So again, just to recap, if you want to listen to the no bass or the bass version, make sure it's in your head, make sure you know what to do, practice your chord changes, and don't worry about making mistakes when you play live. Play live to the tracks, and you should be fine. Final words. If you don't like or you feel more comfortable playing with the bass version of the song, go for it, or the no bass version, which you will be playing live for. Alternate it. I would say you can't really go wrong here. It's just what you feel comfortable with. In the bass version, it was basically whole notes, and they're fast. You can slow them down. You can make them half whole notes. Just make sure that you're on time and that you're following the chord changes, and you're cool. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell us how you're doing. You can also, in the comments, please comment on who your favorite bass titan is, if you have one. If there's anybody that you really love and you could listen to for inspiration. And yeah, we'll even do a poll on that and see where our most popular person is. But thank you. Watch tomorrow and do your homework, and we're all good.